Right. Just got up not too long ago. Again, there with the remote no monitoring, with the sirens. Again, nonstop. Um, and as I came out of my bedroom, my sister was in the kitchen. As soon as she saw me, she gets up and she went into the other bedroom. Then she comes out, you know, was speaking to me. They barely speak. They barely speak to me, right? In terms of having a conversation. Right? So we was talking about. She's telling me about her health and stuff like that, and I said, listen, her medication is too expensive. I said, yeah, they did the same thing with my medication, right? I used to didn't have to pay all of a sudden when COVID started. They didn't deliver my medication. Then when the doctor gave me a new prescription, they were charging me almost $1,000. Right, and this was my headache medicine, right, which helped with the sirens. You know what I'm saying? Again, as I'm talking about this, and what it is that they did, right, and they did this, okay. So I didn't call and say, hey, cancel my medication. I didn't do that. They did that, okay. They did that. I didn't deliver it. They're supposed to be delivered. They didn't deliver it, and then want to charge me almost $1,000 to get my medication. Then it went down to like 500 and something dollars, right? So I said, yeah, they sent it to me, such and such. And we just started having a conversation. I said, listen, this is what y'all don't understand is that this is part of their program to kill us, at a certain age, okay, even younger, right? Because the vast majority of us as black people, we're the one that suffer the most illness in this country. We are the most obese. We live in the worst condition as a group of people, right? So, like I said, go look at the rat utopia, and you will clearly see and you can see you can see the comparisons to what they did to us as black people, to that experiment, you know. And so, though we're different, we're human beings. So it's we have to think in mind, But when you look at some of the effect that happened in that experiment, you can clearly compare it, and it's relatable to what's happening to us as a people. Okay, so anyhow, so then my nephew's daughter comes into the kitchen, right? And again, trying to use threat. So she's talking about, oh, it cost $700, whatever. Again, always trying to do things to try to extort money from me, right? Extort money. And then she's like looking at me like, I'm like, okay, whatever. So anyhow, um, then I came back in my bedroom, went on Facebook, and I got this notification. Okay, and again, we talk about religious people, Christianity, uh, nonsense. Okay, so we also start talking about religion too. I said, yeah, you're also brainwashed and so conditioned with this Christianity nonsense. This is a big reason why we're separated as people. Okay, so in Christian Debates Atheists, I had posted a from Columbia University, right, about the um, comparison between the so-called Virgin Mary of the Christian Bible, right? And it says that the early Christian church success depended on its successful assimilation of a material cultural association with religious practice. One particular type of object exists in the threshold between the pagan and Christian world, providing a concrete metaphor for the nature of conversion and Roman Christianization. Statues of Isis renewed as the Virgin Mary. The popular imagery, excuse me, of Isis, Aset, I should say. Isis is the Greek word, so for Aset, the originally she was called Aset, was integrated into the new church in several ways. I mean, you can see this if you go onto even the Catholic Church. I think it's the Popal website. I used to be on that site so many times, but they tell you doing these council that they had over hundreds of years, right, before they start writing or creating the Bible, particularly the New Testament, and how they voted to started to associate, right, Mary, or set image of a set, into the new Euro Christian doctrine. So she became Mary, and again, and Heru, right, otherwise known as Horus, her son, became Jesus. All this stuff is documented. This is why they don't want you to research and have any sort of knowledge, okay? Because they created their belief system to control you and for them to profit off of you, okay? Keep you indoctrinated, all right? So when they went around brutalizing the Caucasians in Europe, again, they didn't come with love and peace. Go look at what the church did during the Inquisition. Go do your research. They've always converted people not on love, as that they say that they want to practice, or what they say now, but on brutality, war, murder, rape. This is what they did. Okay, torture. All right. So let me finish here. So popular imagery of ISIS was integrated in the new church in several ways. First, some statues themselves were physically converted and reused as icon of the Virgin Mary. Additionally, conventional iconography of the Egyptian goddess may have been adopted in the production of new works in order to portray the nature of Mary. Isis was commonly depicted seated holding the infant Horus, which could have easily been translated into the Virgin Mary cradling Jesus as a child. A later image of Isis typically portrayed the goddess alone, standing shrouded in fabric and often holding a sistrum. Apuleius describes such statue as the golden ass, in which Serpiant clothed, bathed, and fed the goddess, and new converts were consumed in her image. With the addition of some fabric and the extraction of Egyptian details, the mother of the universe would have stood visibly and clearly converted into the mother of God. Now, I posted this stuff, when was it? April 6th. And I don't even think it's even this year, okay? To be honest with you. So this was April 6th, all right? So it might have been some years back when I was heavily researching this stuff, okay? So all of a sudden, this person, Ramona Dell, right? All of a sudden now, is commenting on my post, okay? You must have been searching for, like I said, I always go through your Facebook post to try to find some shit. You know what I'm saying? So their reason, there's always a reason, okay? There's always a reason that they do these things, okay? And so so this Romana, I just saw this. It's neat how you're saying societies have always had depiction of mother. I'm not saying this. This is what the text read. This is from Columbia University, okay? That's what it says. I'm not saying this. So again, love to put words into my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Love to say what I don't say. You know what I'm saying? What I'm not saying, what I didn't say. Because this is what they do. They will, you can post something and they'll associate it with you. Kind of like what Kyrie Irving did, right? Right? Like he didn't write the documentary. He just posted the link. Okay? Anyhow. And then the person, right? It's like, let me right here. So let you guys know. Let you guys see. So it's like saying, hey, wait a minute. The ancient Mesopotamian ate bread, Christian eat bread, holy paganism, Batman. I want you to see and understand the illogical thinking of these people, right? How religion, right, dumbs your mind down. The purpose of the whole association, the co-opting, the stealing of the comedic metaphor or the comedic netters and their story. Okay, again, this is all allegories, all, it's again, these are personification of nature, human nature, the nature of the universe. Okay, so the mother being the bringer, the creator of life, the bringer of life through her in her womb, and bringing that life out into the light, which is the world. Okay, so but it's particular to think that this is some weird conspiracy amongst Christians to steal an image of mother and baby and make it their own. Like, come on, dude. Whoever you are. It's not about that. It's about the story of what is called what? The Immaculate Conception. That's what it's about, right? The theft of that story. So it isn't about Mary being the mother of Jesus. It doesn't have to do with mother and son. It's about how Jesus was born, right? How they stole that story. Okay, so in like I said, we as a people, particularly as Black people, we're now beginning to get the entire picture of what was done to our people and how the Europeans and the Arabs, how they lie, they hide the truth from us. And being that truth is coming out, white people are losing their shit. Arabs are losing their shit. Okay? Why? Because now when they look at us, right? See, because before we didn't know. So they're like, oh, so, and that is to put us down, to give us this image of inferiority. Okay? But now that we do know, when they look at us, particularly those of us who do know, they understand that we don't have that feeling of inferiority. Yeah, they may control everything else to try to suppress us as a group. Okay? So we don't elevate ourselves like we did, in ancient times, and times not even in ancient time, but you can go back in the 15th century, in the 16th, 17th century. You had Africans in Europe, okay, amongst the highest in society. I was watching, there's a movie coming out with this African Black man who basically may have taught Mozart. Okay, so I can't remember his name, but or even the Count of Monte Cristo was a Black man. Again, things they don't want to tell you. Alexander Pushkin, Black man, the father of Russian literature, was a Black man. Right? But it's sad for us as a people that we have to find these things out well into our adult years. Imagine if we had known these things when we were younger. See, he who controls your education, he controls the information that is given to you, will control your image of yourself. Will control the way you think about yourself. Okay. So I posted. I think I closed the page. So there was a video on Facebook that clearly shows you from the Book and Stones where they get the story from. Again, this is evidence that they cannot dispute, though they will try to, because again, this is what they do, right? This is what they do because they're so caught up in their lie that even when you're giving them the truth, right, they will still continue to act as if they didn't see it, right? They know, but it's because they have that that complex of feeling that they are superior, and it's a feeling. Okay, that's all it is, based off of white racism, based off of Arab racism, based off of Asian racism. Okay, so what else? Then I posted a little. Actually, I think I have the. There's the. Let me show you guys.
And chisel out. They're going to talk about graffiti and defacement of America's temples and and murals and so forth. Look what they did to your ancestral temples of the goddess Aset and the great god Hasseru. Why? Because your ancestors produced the first African god who gave forth of a virgin birth, the first goddess who gave forth an immaculate conception, the Sarah, the Son of God. They even tell you right here, little folk, reverence for the Egyptian goddess Isis and her son Horus, shown at your right, an Egyptian statue of the Ptolemaic period, was easily converted to the veneration of Mary and Jesus. The 4th century fresco at the far left, and a Madonna and child adorned in the Coptic monastery. They said it was easily converted. So let's see how easy it was converted. Dr. John G. Jackson, in his book, Christianity Before Christ, tells us, and even Church Ward tells us. Now, let's look at Horus. Horus had 2 mothers, Isis, the virgin who conceived him, Nefertiti, who nursed him. He was brought forth singly as one of the 5 brothers. Let's look at the life of Jesus. Jesus had 2 mothers, Mary, the virgin who conceived him, and Mary, the wife of Cleophas, who brought him forth as one of her children. Brother, can you be by the lens a little bit? I mean, I don't know if you can see us out of focus. I know I can see us out of focus. Horus was the son of Seth, his father on earth. Jesus was the son of Joseph, his father on earth. Let's look at Horus now. Horus was with his mother, the virgin, until 12 years old, when he was transformed into the beloved Son, the God, as the only begotten of the Father in heaven. Jesus remained with the mother, the virgin, up until the age of 12, when he left her to be about his Father's business. From 12 to 30 years of age, there is no record in the life of Horus. From 12 to 30 years of age, there is no record in the life of Jesus. And Horus at 30 years of age became a dog in his baptism by Nuke. Jesus at 30 years of age was made a man in his baptism by John the Baptist. Horus in his baptism made his transformation into the beloved Son, the only begotten of the Father, the Holy Spirit represented by a bird. Jesus in his baptism is hailed from heaven as the beloved Son and the only begotten of the Father, the God, the Holy Spirit, that is represented by a dove. That's why they tell you right here, it was easily converted to veneration to the Mary and Jesus. This is your goddess Aset, waiting for you to come back home, waiting for you to come back and pay homage to her.
All right. This is one of our elders, okay, who've been in Kemet doing tours, studying under some of the greats. And again, like I said, these things are written in books. This is why the FBI and the CIA destroyed the black bookstores. There was a war on black bookstores that basically destroyed black bookstores. Why? Because they were selling books by these authors, these people who did the studies, the black archaeologists, black historians, all this stuff, and they wrote books just like white historians did and still do. Okay, and they made a conscious effort to get rid of the black bookstore, right? So that those, our ancestors who wrote these things that are passed on, died in poverty. While these Europeans who were spreading their lies and selling their lies made millions and got rich, got speaking engagement all over the damn world, peddling their lies. While our elders, even those today, who are still writing about our history, okay, could barely make ends meet. And because you see, when they understand that you know the truth, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, when they understand that you know the truth, because when you know the truth, you have a duty to teach it to others. And this is what they don't want. This is what they don't want. Because the profits that they, in terms of money, and the control in terms of the believers, is what's important to them. Okay? Just look at the history of the Catholic Church, even during the World War II, how they aligned themselves with the Nazis at first. Okay? And even something within their own organization was like, no, this is not good. And they fought against the Nazis. But the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope, aligned himself and the Catholic Church with Hitler and the Nazis. Just like they aligned themselves before with the kings of Europe, telling them that the only way that they can sit on that throne is by divine right. That was, they used religion to control. Okay? And again, just do your research, go look at the horrors that they've committed. Even the so-called imams of the Arab Muslim faith. All right. So again, like I said, when y'all keep coming at me, this is what happens. This is what happens. The ancestors within me are guiding me to expose the lies. And when you use the technology to try to co-opt my family into trying to whatever it is that the hell you're trying to do, guess what? I'm gonna just expose you. Simple as that. I keep saying it over and over again. That's one of my purpose. Y'all help me realize that. Okay? So I thank you guys for that. Talk to you guys in the next video.